Alrighty guys, the PlayStation 5 Pro is coming out and it's receiving some backlash. So I can see this to a certain extent because if you think about it, not a lot of great games. Why would they put out a Pro model when there's no real games to push it with and all this? So publishers are saying that, they're not excited about it. It's not powerful enough. It's not a big enough upgrade. They're saying, why would you put this out when you just put out a slim version? And it makes sense, people. It really does. When you sit back and think about it, they've not really even tapped into the potential. The PlayStation 5 base model, they came out with a slim version, which, it's the same system, just a little bit smaller. That saves some money on parts and all that. But then you're releasing a PlayStation 5 Pro, and they're not happy about it. They're like, why would you put this out when it's not a huge upgrade over the base model? And developers just do not seem to know why they would even put it out. So it looks like developers don't want to have to worry about making another game, another version of the game for another system, because it's not going to be that much of a difference. And they're like, why are you putting this out? Why are we going to have a PlayStation 5 Pro? And of course, Microsoft's doing this also. They're going to put out their own version of a stronger Xbox, a Pro version, whatever you want to call it. There's no games for the systems. There's no games for it. So, it's just being honest, especially with Xbox, why would they put out anything when there's no games at all on their system? All their system is a Game Pass machine. That's why I see the Xbox. It's just a Game Pass machine. But with Sony doing this, it makes no sense. Developers are upset about it. And that's just something I thought, well, it does make sense. When you sit back and really think about it, you're like, yeah, where's those big eye-popping games we expected with the PlayStation 5 Pro? I know the God of War game and Ratchet & Clank looked amazing. But, there's a few games that look great. And you know how good Sony is when they... Look how good the God of War game looked on the base PlayStation 4 and the PS4 Pro. Look how good that game looked on that system. And it gives you an idea of thinking they've not even, really gotten into the power of the base system. And of course, there's no games coming out. So it's going to be hard to even justify having the PlayStation 5 Pro. They should have waited maybe until next year, actually, if you want to be honest, and put out the PlayStation 5 Pro. Because next year there's supposed to be a lot of great games coming out. I know it's a year away and all that, but it's just something they probably should have thought about more. So again, the PlayStation 5 Pro has not been officially announced. I know that. So when it is announced, it's expected to be announced this fall, of course. And what's that going to look like? Here's an upgraded version of the PlayStation 5 Pro. So basically, they're gonna be selling the PlayStation 5 Pro and making your other games look a little bit better. So, feels like they should worry more about games. They should have worried more about games, some first-party games, instead of putting out a Pro version. Feels like the Pro version may be rushed to the market, but I'm still looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm not ashamed to say I'm a Sony pony. I just like everything Sony makes on game systems. I've always been a big fan since the PlayStation 2 days. I missed the PlayStation 1. I missed out on that. But since PlayStation 2, I've bought every system, and the updated versions, the Pro versions, the slim versions of the PlayStation 2, the OG version PS3 that played all the PS2 games, and the new version PS3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, all that. But it is true when you really sit back and think about it. Publishers don't seem happy about it, and I can see why. They're like, man, we just need, we don't even know what we're doing with the regular PlayStation 5 yet, and you're putting out a PlayStation 5 Pro. So they probably should have waited a year, maybe even 2 years. But it is what it is. We'll see how it goes from here. Maybe the PlayStation 5 Pro might get delayed. It's always a possibility. If enough people are upset about it, they may wait, push it off until 2025 holiday season. It's possible. But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on this. Let me know how you feel about it. And as always, I want to thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Toodles!